Hello and welcome to an episode of the Poverty Franchise Podcast with the Poverty Index Roundup. Today's poison is finally an alcohol. Revolution Brewing, Fifth City, Chicago Pale Ale. This is my favorite beer probably from the Chicago area. Give Revolution Brewing a try. Cool company, good beer. Can't go wrong with it. We're not talking about beer though, we're going to talk about sports. So I'm going to start with the hooping a little bit. To lead off, it kind of came as a shock on Chet out for the year with Lisfranc injury from his Pro-Am, and that is not good for the Thunder. Well, if he comes back from the injury, it'll end up being really good for the Thunder because they can tank for another year and get another great prospect they'll have team control over for 5 seasons on the cheap. However, Lisfranc surgery is a very bad injury to get, especially for big men. I mean, until Joel Embiid came in, Lisfranc ruined the careers of many a Hall of Fame big man. Bill Walton, Ralph Sampson, and Yao Ming are the 3 big ones that come to mind. All of them had very bad foot injuries, and that derailed their career arcs massively. They're all still Hall of Famers, don't get me wrong, but they all could have been so much more. Bill Walton would have never became a great 6 man. He'd have been still an MVP caliber player. Ralph Sampson and Hakeem could have really been the Twin Tower force they should have been if they both developed at the same time without Ralph Sampson's injury. And Yao Ming could have played a lot longer in those, again, the poor T-Mac Yao Ming teams. One of the best teams that never was because of injury. But I hope Chet the best, and speaking of Lisfranc and Clemson, hope Travis Etienne comes back from that strong this year, gets to play his first year, but his second year in the league, and help the Jags out and make it that Urban Meyer didn't do everything wrong. Hopefully Etienne doesn't flame out because you can really make a good argument that Etienne's one of the better college running backs of all time, but that's neither here nor there. I do hope for Chet though. I hope Chet comes back well. He has a lot of potential. I think with how medical technologies come by and with how Embiid beat it, sure, with a heavy minutes restriction, I think Chet will be back. I hope he'll be back at the very least. I'll hope. And the second thing of basketball news today will be the Patrick Beverley trade happen. The Lakers get Patrick Beverley and the Jazz get THT and Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson is probably going to get waived in the Donovan Mitchell trade saga, which is still ongoing, and is seemingly to heat up. I still don't know where. It's probably going to be the Knicks, is my best guess. Oh, shit, how's it going? The Knicks are going to be the front runners there, and it's still my bet, but I think Stanley Johnson's going to end up getting waived. Stanley Johnson, if y'all don't remember, really had potential. I think him and Justice Winslow were along the same boat where defensively and athletically, their tools were very good to be real good, more than 3-and-D wingers. These are I don't think either of them were projected to be a number 1 option on a team, but as your second or third piece, to be able to guard 1 through 5 in a and then the 1 and the 5 at a pinch but to be able to guard all 5 positions pretty effectively for small ball lineups with how the NBA went and still is. They were shaping up to be real good players. The problem with Stanley Johnson is that he couldn't really do much of anything but play defense and talk shit to LeBron James in his rookie year. Yeah, Pistons got swept that round, by the way. That first round, that was not a pretty series. And Point Justice looked like it was working a little bit, but Justice Winslow got hurt. Justice Winslow can distribute the ball. He just couldn't shoot. Couldn't create his own shot, so that's what happened. They're kind of the similar players in my book. THT will probably bounce around as a role player. If he can find his shot again, he's an undersized 3. He's not a bad player, not as slanderous as Lakers fans. He's not great. Whoever fucking said he was going to pay him that much money and choosing him at the end of the day over all the really good role players the Lakers could have right now, like Caruso and all of them, but then the Lakers get Patrick Beverley. Either Russell Westbrook is gone, or this is going to be the funniest locker room in NBA history. This is going to be funnier. This has the potential to be funnier than the Lakers meme team. and the Bulls 3 Alphas teams, which I still think are the best locker rooms for NBA drama ever. Or actually, maybe the Rondo Mavs team should be on there too. Yeah, I'll put the Rondo Mavs team on that too. But it should be real interesting to see how this all pans out. Will Russell Westbrook get traded? I hope for the Lakers' sake, and my co-host out in Japan, by the way, Ethan. I hope his boys get him out of there. Hope they get him out of there. But yeah, it's gonna be real fun this season for the Lakers. I think they're the eyes to watch. Patrick Beverley says they're guaranteed Western Conference Finals now that he's there. No. Let's just say that. No. I mean, if AD stays healthy, maybe. It's nowhere near guaranteed. It's no lock, is what I'm saying. And then wherever Donovan Mitchell goes, I'll probably make a short talking about that, the initial reaction. I'm not going to make a full video just on that. And then speaking of moves, we're going to move on to football, where Alexander Isak goes from Real Sociedad to Newcastle. Newcastle is making I think the Saudi owners, they're making a push. They're making a push for Europe. I don't know if they're going to get Champions League, but they're making a push for that. Not the Conference League. We don't give a fuck about that. They're making a push for Europe, and I like the move. Isak is pacey. He's talented. He's young. He's the face of Swedish football when it comes to the national stage. I think Isak, and speaking of what Newcastle just did to Man City, eviscerated them 3-3. I mean, not a win, but they're reinforcing for the long haul. I talked about Casemiro on the last episode making his debut this week. It's a good chance. Liverpool's looking at midfielders. That's good for them as well. I hope they can find some. And also, Chelsea did close the business on Wesley Fofana, bolstering their defense even further. This will give, I think, Fofana, you can play in the midfield or you can play him in the back, which is good for, you have an aging Thiago Silva. He can step in and be the replacement the next year when, or not the next year, or whenever Thiago Silva is ready to take more of a back seat in this, or whenever he decides to move on, you'll have your ready-made center back. In the meantime, you can play holding midfield in front of them, or be on the bench when you want to play more offensive, when Tuchel wants to play more offensively minded, and Thiago Silva just can't go the full 90, or when he ever gets hurt, which might happen as well. But I think Chelsea's successfully revitalized their defense. Jules Koundé got registered at Barcelona, so Barcelona has found another way out of the financial shithole. We're going to have to see how that goes in the long run with the Spotify deal and the stadium and the financials. They're not in a good spot for as big of a club as they are. I think we were memeing them into default, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying, again, Portsmouth did, and Portsmouth was they're nowhere near the level Barcelona was, but they were a big club. So, also ignore if you hear any thunder. It's storming up in South Carolina today. So, then moving on, before I announce kind of a partial series I'm going to be spreading out over the end of all the episodes. The NFL, Matt Ariza, in terms I can't really use on YouTube, is a despicable human being. After I was one of the people on the meme train about him, because I kind of have a soft spot for punters because they're actually very important for an NFL team. He should not play another NFL down, and under California state law, he should be playing football at fucking Pelican Bay. But that's neither here nor there. That's all I have to say on that matter. And Aaron Donald decided to go full Myles Garrett, and people are just now realizing somehow that Aaron Donald is fucking insane, and we know this. He's an Ndamukong Suh without like the overt dirty play. I mean, Alex Smith, he tested Alex Smith's knee. He's a fucking maniac, and that's what you want out of one of the best defensive players of all time. They're all maniacs. Look at every like GOAT defensive player, and almost all of them are mean motherfuckers. I think with the exception of like Reggie White. Like all of them are dicks. Every single one. I shit you not. Almost every single position has dicks. They're just assholes. But in a good way. I mean, you need that aggressiveness because you're, especially on the line, you're assaulting another man to go assault another man. You're assaulting the big dude in front of you to go assault the smaller man he's protecting. So, You want him crazy. It's not gonna have any repercussions on the season. He's probably just gonna get fined by the Rams. Maybe get banned for a practice. Maybe the first game he misses the first series as punishment. That's whatever McVay and the management really want to do. I don't think anything super serious is gonna happen because of it. And again, the NFL apparently has no jurisdiction over that. Also, they have no jurisdiction over the Matt Ariza case because it happened in college because of the Terrell Pryor thing. I should go back to that real quick. When Terrell Pryor got punished for trying to make money while in college, which everyone was doing, he just got caught. The NFL continued his suspension he got in college when he got picked in the supplemental draft. So the CBA that they just did in 2020 or 2021, I believe, I forget, 2020, they said you can't do that anymore. So this all happened in college, so apparently the NFL doesn't have any say on the personal conduct. So if an NFL team is willing to just keep a punter as a pretty low light player, I don't see this getting much mainstream attention like the Deshaun Watson case did, or even other skill positions like Ray Rice got, or Greg Hardy even, right? Because they were all non-special teamers. Greg Hardy's was just specifically egregious as well because he threw his girlfriend on a bed of fucking rifles, which we need to talk about. That was fucking insane. I'm glad he got cut by the UFC, by the way. And one more for my announcement. Congrats, Alexander Usyk, on his big win. Hoping to see the Fury Usyk fight here soon. We're all hoping for that. I think just fans of sport, mainly and especially combat sport, would love to see that. Now to the series that I'm going to start. It is basically just me going over me and Ethan's favorite basketball teams from 2007. Is kind of when I started noticing basketball, and it really did start with Joakim Noah because, admittedly, he was another biracial kid who played for the Bulls with curly hair. So I thought that was really fucking cool. And my Aunt Betsy went to Florida, so she told my mom about him, and that's how it happened. So that's when I really started watching the Bulls. My first Bulls game I watched on TV, I vividly remember. I was 5. They were playing Pau Gasol's Grizzlies. And I just thought it was really funny that that I remember that. But then I didn't really start watching the Bulls more often until I was about 7. Is when I started remembering it, and that's when I started it. And I'm just going to be going over them. I only got the players 2009 done right now. I think I'm going to do 3 seasons at a time at the end of every episode until the series is done. If y'all want, I might move to other teams. I'm going to probably do next without the volition of asking others. I can do one team at a go, just get one team at the end of every episode, just a little ends cap series. After this, I'm probably going to do the Bears-Falcons from I actually started watching basketball before I started watching football. I know I watched Devin Hester in the Super Bowl. I get that with the Bears. But I don't think I really started paying attention to football until about 2010 is when I started paying attention to the Bears, mainly Jay Cutler. God, that I've went through a range of emotions with that man. I did, and I still hate Rex Grossman with all my fucking heart to this day. But again, neither here nor there. But basically, I'm just going to go over kind of what they did, my opinions on them. To be fair, the Lakers don't really have many players yet so far, so these are really just random dudes, by the way. Like, random fucking guys. I'm just going to be real with you. One kind of surprise one for people not like... It's a very famous incident in NBA lore, but I always forget I knew he had an interesting name. I always forget who the other person was in it. But without further ado, I'm just going to switch scenes here. Just go there. Yep. Basically, just an Excel spreadsheet that I'm using to compile them. You can see I kind of stopped at 2010 because that's why I decided this was a good time to stop. Starting with the Bulls in 2007, it was Joakim Noah. He played for the Florida Gators, coming off of back-to-back national titles. That second one had him and Al Horford, Corey Brewer were all on the same, and Mo Bucket Spates were all on the same team. Coached by Billy Donovan, current Bulls head coach. Probably one of the better college basketball teams of all time. I would willing to put that team against almost every team in college basketball history, and that team will play good fucking basketball. He averaged 8.8 points his career, 9 boards, 2.8 assists. His best season scoring was 12.6. Joakim wasn't really known for scoring. He was more of a defense. One of the not early, but more unique set for a big man was he passed from the top of the key a lot, passed out of the post. Good playmaker for the big. had no offensive bag to save his life other than his passing, but he was just the heart and soul of those Bulls teams, really. And he played all the minutes. He was an Iron Man until his body failed him. He played from 2007 until 2020. He's now he's an ambassador for the Bulls, the job they gave Scottie Pippen afterwards. Pippen loved the team. He loved the city. He does a lot for Chicago. He played for the Bulls, the Knicks. He had that infamous contract, the falling out Jeff Hornacek. We don't really talk about Knicks, Joakim. Then with Memphis and the Clippers, he took the Udonis Haslem role of being the angry old guy who hustled a little bit, and it was fun. His awards: 2-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Defense, 2014 DPOY, and that year he finished 4th in MVP voting on the Derrick Rose-less Bulls, which is quite impressive for a guy, and that was the season he also scored 12.6 points a game. For a guy who only scored 12 points a game, getting 4th in MVP voting is fucking impressive, in my opinion. The second player is that infamous one I was talking about earlier. The Lakers in the second, this was actually their first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, are... Also, a lot of the Lakers picks are second-round picks. I think Critton was a first-round pick. Javaris Critton from Georgia Tech. 5.3 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.8 assists. His best season points per game was 7.4. He only played 2 seasons in the league. And that's because he went from the Lakers, got traded in his rookie season to Memphis, and then got traded again in his second season to the Wizards. Then he was the other guy in the Gilbert Arenas gun locker room incident on the Wizards. So he basically got frozen out of the league. He got a tryout. He got a training camp deal with the Bobcats. And if you couldn't make the Bobcats in 2010, I am so fucking sorry. Your NBA career is done. Your basketball career is done. Me and the homies running rec at Fike had an okay chance at making the Bobcats roster in 2010. I'm fucking kidding, but you know what I mean. And then he actually killed someone later on. I think this nigga is crazy. Other than that, I just thought it was one of the most interesting ones to add. The next, the Windy City Assassin, played at Memphis, played at Simeon, Derrick Rose, career averages of 18.2 points, 3.3 rebounds, 5.4 assists. He averaged 25 points per game in his MVP year. He is currently still playing as a sixth man on the Knicks, but he went from the Bulls, got traded to the Knicks, went to the Cavs. That was a real shit. He was real down. He had to take the personal leave. Came back on the Timberwolves, had the 50-point game, probably one of the best stories in the NBA that year or ever. Played for the Pistons as that six-man microwave-type player. Went to the Knicks, continued the same role. He's in the running for six-man of the year conversations the past couple of seasons. All-rookie team and rookie of the year in 2008-9, 3-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA, and the youngest MVP in NBA history of 2010-2011 MVP. And what is there not to love about Derrick Rose? He played above the rim. I'm sad injuries got him. I'm sad Tom Thibodeau was playing him then, but still one of the most fun basketball players I've ever watched. Probably my favorite basketball player still. And what he meant for the city, what he means for the city of Chicago, and what he's meant for the city of Chicago cannot be stated enough. He's still one of the most exciting NBA point guards I've ever watched. Going completely in the opposite direction after that diatribe in my heartstrings and me damn near coming to shed a tear for a man I don't know. The Lakers this is a second round pick. His name is Joe Crawford. He played at Kentucky. He played 1 season in the league. He played 2 games in his entire career. That's why I'm not going to mention the splits. He wasn't even with the Lakers. It was with the Knicks. And that was the Lakers' only pick that year. I just thought it was interesting. He made the league, played 2 games, a lot better than 99% of the human population can say. So we're gonna move on. Bulls will take James Johnson, career role player. Went to Wake Forest, 7 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, pedestrian. But he's still a free agent at the moment, but he's played till last season, 2009 to 2022. So, and he's best known for being like the kickboxer MMA guy in the league. His best season scoring was about 13 points a game. He started with the Bulls, Raptors, Kings, Grizzlies, went back to the Raptors, Heat. I think that's why he's best known for is his Heat stint. Wolves, Mavs, Pelicans, and then the Nets this year. And yeah, he was a pro kickboxer. He's undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, in kickboxing, and he was just a solid role player. He was an out of lottery pick because Derrick Rose willed that fucking team to the playoffs in his rookie year. Was also with Ben Gordon was also on that team. He was the 18th or 19th overall pick. And then later, that same draft class, the Bulls pick consummate better role player Taj Gibson. He went to University of Southern Cal, the only USC. You know what I'm talking about. 9 points a game, 6 boards, and assists in his career. Averaged 13 points per game in his best season. He's currently still on a roster. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the. Let's see, it'll say right there. It's the Wizards. Yeah, he just got signed with the Wizards. I don't know if he'll make the final day roster, but he's still there at the moment. Played for the Bulls. Got traded to the Thunder when the Bulls shipped off him and Doug McDermott for fucking Cameron Payne and Joffrey Laverne. Beyond that, Wolves, Knicks, Wizards, where Tom Thibodeau had that man running around like he was still 24, which was also his rookie year. Made all-rookie 2009, 2010, and he's just a hustle man. Fun player to watch. His dunks were very energetic, and he did the work. He got boards, he played defense, got the block. I went back to playing good defense. Great locker room presence. Need guys like that to win championships at the end of the day. But Taj Gibson was a very integral part to those Bulls playoff teams, and I liked him. Then the Lakers in 2009 picked Patrick Beverley in the second round. However, Patrick Beverley would go on to play a couple years in Europe, or this was after his first year in Europe, and he got cut in training camp, so he went back to Europe for another year. He played at Arkansas. He averaged 8.8 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He played at Marshall High School in Chicago. His best season scoring was 12.2 points per game. That was with I think his last season with the Rockets or his first season with the Clippers. I'll have to check on that. He's still playing, as we did talk about him earlier on the Lakers. He played for the Rockets, Clippers, Wolves, where he famously celebrated like he won the NBA Finals for a playing game, which I respect it. I'd have that same energy. I'm not below that. Now, most recently on the Lakers, I didn't put on the Jazz because he didn't play for them. And he's presumably going to play on the Lakers. 3-time All-Defense, all-time menace. He's a menace to society, and when Steven Adams laid him out, no one shed a tear. But in all seriousness, Patrick Beverley, to stick around that long, he shoots three-pointer, he hits his open threes, he plays the good defense, and you love him when he's on your team, you hate playing against him. He's just one of those guys. So, it is what it is on that front. And yeah, this is going to be a series I'm going to continue doing at the end of every episode. I think this is a good format to do about 3 seasons at a time, so it's not dragging the end of the video out so much. For people who watch this long, if you do, that's okay too. Bear with the Excel format. It's ass. I didn't really complete it, but I'll just format it all the same when it's done. I'll also probably put it in Google Sheets and link it so y'all can look at it. That's something I might do. But other than that, good to be at a minor league game. Might do that as well. I might record some shit about that. But visit your minor league teams. Minor league sports are fun, and they need your support at the gate because they're not filmed up, they're not shut. They don't have TV rights deals, and those dudes are making about the same we're all gonna make. So support them. Have fun. Beer's cheaper. But that's all today on the Poverty Index Roundup. And cheers to y'all on a great Friday night, or whenever you're watching this Saturday morning, when you're waking up from your hangover, enjoying the soothing sound of my voice. It's been PJ on the Poverty Franchise Podcast, signing off for the night. Good night, good luck, stay drunk. I'm not going to say the last word, but good night. I'll see y'all. Peace.